Hi, everybody, and welcome to Shaky Sports Journeys. Been a while since I've recorded last, probably over a month ago now. Just felt like it was a good time to take some time out, refresh the batteries. I've been recording podcasts for well over a year now, almost 18 months. Around 80 podcasts have been recorded with some fantastic guests from all different sports, as well as crossing over into other professions as well. So it's been a fun time, but with everything, you need a rest eventually. So if you're watching for the first time, please do subscribe to the channel, free on YouTube, and you can also find the channel on Podbean, iTunes, and Spotify as well. So today is something very, very different. As you can see, I'm alone on screen. Nobody else joining me today as a guest. And the reason for today's recording is that I'm doing a Dad and Ava Adventures. Ava is my 20-month-old daughter now. Time flies. And the reason for this recording is that since Ava was born, obviously I'm a father every single day. Firm believer in equality and the fact that times have changed and a dad should be just as hands-on as a mother is. The old-fashioned mentality that the mum cleans the nappies, the mum deals with everything, I think is outdated and time for change. And I think it's a lot more healthy for your relationship and for mum as well, that she gets a little bit more time to herself. But in this instance, I was in a situation where, well, we were all in a situation as a family where my wife, who's a singer-songwriter, had Ava. 8 or 9 months had passed, and she was just looking at options of what she could maybe do with her career, because with musicians and knowing from a sporting background myself, nothing is guaranteed. It's a very, very competitive world out there. So there's no guarantees that, we're all going to make millions and millions of pounds and everything's going to go just as you want it. So she wanted to add another bow to her music degree, and she decided that financial advisor would be something that she would like to do, and to try and help people with their finances, mortgages, etc. So she wanted to get this done quickly, and there was an option to do a CMAP fast track course, which meant that she had to travel away for 2 weeks, 2 separate weeks, thankfully a gap in between those 2 weeks. So here we are sitting in the living room, and she said to me, well, obviously, if I'm going to go and do this, then you're going to be home alone with Ava. And I was like, yeah, no problem. That's fine. And then I started thinking about it, and I started seeing what we go through together, looking after Ava, and the sleepless nights and all the stuff that you have to do with a baby. And the day started coming closer and closer till the time that Kaya was going to go away. And yeah, it was safe to say I was getting a little bit freaked out. And then it just happened. The door closed. She went to the train station, and here was me with, I think Ava must have been about 9.5, 10 months at that point, sitting alone in the sitting room. She was bashing around the sitting room in her crawler, our baby walker, and I was just thinking, this is all right just now. TV's on, cartoons are on, but what's going to happen later at dinner time, and what's going to happen at bedtime, and all the rest of it? Well, bedtime for the first 3 days was an absolute nightmare. She didn't sleep. I actually was taking her for a walk one night in the buggy at 1 o'clock in the morning, walking around the block just to try and get her to go to sleep. I mean, people must have been looking out the window because they might have heard her crying or whatnot and thinking, what the hell is this guy doing? But I had no other option. I could not get her to go to sleep. Obviously, I think she was experiencing some separation anxiety from her mum as well. But yeah, it was a nightmare. And then I would wake up in the morning when she woke up and hadn't had any sleep, so grumpy. So I get it. All the mothers out there, all the single mothers out there, I totally get it. I've not done it that long term, but even doing a week of it, it was a real eye opener. I would go to the toilet. She wouldn't let me go to the toilet, so I had to take her to the toilet with me. She was literally glued to me wherever I went. If I didn't take her, she screamed the house down. So the first week was just, there was nappies everywhere. I would clean a nappy, finish that. There was something else needed to get done. Clothes were just going all over the place in the basket. Change your clothes, change your clothes, change your clothes. In between all of that, there was a little bit of fun as well. You're going out for walks, a little bit of playtime. But at night times, oh, it was the worst. I was just didn't. I had moments where I think I text my missus in the middle of the night just saying I can't do this anymore. And come on, I'm a fully grown man. I can't look after this tiny little baby for a week while her mum's away. Quite embarrassing. Mum came back after a week. Never been so happy to see her. She came back and things went back to normal for a bit. And then about 3 weeks later, off she went again. But this time, I learned from the experience a little bit. I made sure I was more hands-on with Ava in between the time of my wife coming back and going away again for another week. So I think she was a little bit more used to me. And then it just started running like clockwork. You wake up in the morning, you get her milk, get her changed, probably going to have a fairly nice present waiting in the nappy for you. Sort that out, give her something to eat, put some cartoons on, let her do what she wants to do, go for a walk in the afternoon, come back home, clean some more nappies, change the clothes because the clothes are dirty from before, put them away, then pass a little bit more time, maybe go and visit the grandparents, maybe go for another walk to kill some time, come back home, change some more nappies, take out the rubbish, come back in, and then it's bedtime. Bedtime, have the milk ready, have her bath, have the milk ready, pajamas on. So it's kind of like a process where you're trying to just dim her down. Doesn't always go to plan. There were times where I'd be lying in bed for an hour with her and I'd be just doing that creep. So it's like you don't even breathe. You're like, and the bed creaks and you're like, oh, wait. Then go again. Oh, and then she moves her arm and you're like, don't move. Don't move. She's going to wake up. And the worst one is when you've got out the room and you're just about to go down the stairs and you breathe a sigh of relief and then you just hear, and you think, oh no, she's up again. So that is something that never ever really has gone away. I got better as time went on. By the third week, Ava was a little bit older, still not amazing, but would go to sleep for 3-4 hours in the evening before I would go to bed, allowing me a little bit of downtime. But as well as that, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my daughter. We bonded so well. Not always at the beginning, but as time went on. But just the bonding alone, I feel like we're so much more connected now. I feel that she relies on me a lot more. She looks to me, not always to her mum. And that means quite a lot to me because obviously babies are very connected to their mothers. Obviously, they come from their mother. Mother gives birth to them, can carry them for 9 months. You can understand why they'd be very close to their mother. But now with Ava, I've got a real tight bond. The laughs along the way. Now, during this video, or at the end of the video, I'm going to do a little slideshow of some of the times we had together, some pictures, some videos of we went on a little nature walk one day. I took her down to the cricket ground. Unfortunately, it poured down. I took her down quite a few times to the cricket ground. So she got to experience being at the cricket ground, being around a lot of adults, seeing a lot of kids, something that never really she was able to have during lockdown, because lockdown babies, feel sorry for them. They really didn't get to integrate with other babies like they normally would have been by going to like play groups, etc. So it's taken a little bit more time for her to get used to being around other children, but she's fast forwarding now and she's just developing every single day. Some of the fun and games along the way that happened were things like when a baby is quiet for any long period of time, always think something's not right. So very quiet one day, came through, and she had decided to just take everything out of the bathroom cupboard. So she's sitting there with toothbrush, toothpaste, moisturising creams are all over the place. She started dumping stuff in the toilet when I didn't know, and I came back in to find things were in the toilet. So then I started getting, and see these locks that you get for cupboards that are supposedly meant to keep babies out of cupboards. They don't work. They're a waste of time. Unless you super glue that cupboard together, a baby's going to break through that and they're going to get in. And so in the cupboards, I'll come into the sitting room, bag of rice lying there, bag of pasta lying there. Then I think they start to realise as they get older that they can mess around with you. So changing the nappy, took my eye off her for 2 seconds, off she went. Safe to say, I had to jet wash the whole sitting room because there was a little bit of poo around all over the place. My daughter's probably going to watch this in 15, 20 years' time, or maybe when I'm no longer in this world anymore. And please excuse me, Ava, for saying that. But that's actually not as bad as what I once done. I once took a paper truck, a car truck. My mum told me about this and decided to run it through and up the walls. So my daughter is nothing compared to me. She is a bundle of joy. It's been quite refreshing. My message to other fathers out there is get more hands on. I'm by no stretch saying I'm some big perfect dad. By far, just speak to my wife. I'm sure she'll let you know that that's not the case. But I have learned a lot. I have a son called Harris from a previous marriage as well, who unfortunately I've not seen for quite a few years. But I learned a lot there as well. Different connection I find with a son and with a daughter. Equally both is special. And I hope I'll be able to have that connection again with my son, as well as my oldest son as well, who I have spent some time with in recent times. So it's being a parent really is a special feeling. It makes me really realise as well how much crap I gave my parents growing up. I must have really pushed their buttons at times, and it makes me think about them a lot when I'm going through it now. That old saying, "I'll wait till your parents, then you'll understand." So true. I can relate to so much of what my parents said to me and what they went through with me as well. I've still got the teenage years, etc., to come. I hear it gets harder. I'm hoping that's not the case, and Ava's going to just be a shining light, and she's not going to be naughty or do anything that she's not supposed to do. She's going to be perfect. Something tells me that's not going to be the case because she does look like she's got that little rascal side to her. But yeah, just a bit of fun here today. Something maybe my daughter can look back on and have good memories of, and years to come. And that father-daughter bond is a very, very special bond, and one that I hope all you fathers out there embrace as much as possible. And yeah, just a message to help your partners out, help your wives out more, girlfriends more. It goes a long way. If you give them a little bit of, give and take, then, they'll be happier. They'll feel good about themselves. They're just stuck with the baby and the kids all the time. That starts to play in your mind. I know I've just done it. 3 weeks in total, and listen to me, you'd think I've been doing it for 10 years. And look at me, I'm making videos about it because it was an eye opener. It really was a wake up call. So thank you for listening. I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope you enjoy the slideshow of pictures and videos off the back end of some of me and Ava's adventures. Please keep listening. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. I have some really, really cool guests lined up over the next coming weeks and months. So I hope you can tune in, tell your friends, family about it. Really appreciate the support that's been there in such a short period of time. And thank you to all the guests that have come on. I'm so humbled by some of the names that I've had on the podcast, and hopefully many more good guests to come. Thank you very much for listening. Enjoy the slideshow. See you on the other side. Cheers.
You say that is like
Ava, are you fielding hen? Like training hen. You ready? What do you think? Hey Ava, what do you think? You think splashy? Oh no. Oh no. Easy, easy, stop it. Slow down, slow down. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, whoa. Slow down, slow down. Whoa. Oh, there you go. Well done. You totally took the piss out of me. 1 hour we've been doing this now. 1 bloody hour. You're piss taker. I'm not happy with you. I'm not happy.